Ever get that feeling like you're just seeing the tip of the iceberg? You know, like there's this whole big story hidden under the surface.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like those viral videos that grab your attention, and then you find out there's this whole crazy backstory.
Exactly. That's kind of what happened with this documentary trailer about Stanlee's final years.
Stanlee, the legend himself. What's the story there?
Well, the film really focuses on this guy, John Boulder. He went by J-Jack too. He was Stan's assistant for the last 4 years of his life.
Okay, so pretty close to Stan then, at least time-wise.
Yeah, and right from the start, Boulder's making it clear he wasn't just some employee. He was like a confidant, a real friend to Stan. That's how he presents it anyway.
Interesting. So right away, he's establishing this personal connection, like he's got the inside scoop.
Exactly, and then get this. 6 years after Stanlee dies, Boulder drops this trailer, and it is packed with serious allegations. I'm talking mistreatment, manipulation, even betrayal by people close to Stan.
Whoa, that's heavy stuff. What kind of people are we talking about? Family, business associates.
It's a mix, and some of the names are going to surprise you. But here's the real kicker. Boulder claims he filmed a lot of this alleged abuse. He says he felt powerless to stop it at the time, but he had his camera rolling. Now he's asking the public for, get this, $300,000 through a Kickstarter to finish the documentary.
Wow, that's a hefty sum for a documentary.
Yeah.
What's he saying he'll do with the money?
Well, his words are, bring Stan the justice he deserves. So it seems like he's positioning this as a mission, a way to expose the truth and right some wrongs.
But hold on, if he witnessed all this abuse, why not go to the authorities or try to intervene directly? Why just film it?
That's the question everyone's asking. And the public reaction to this Kickstarter was intense, and not in a good way.
Oh, I bet. People are probably skeptical, right?
Oh, absolutely. When we checked out the source, all 46 comments on the Kickstarter were negative, no kidding. It blew up on X too, and a bunch of YouTubers jumped on it. Everyone's asking, if Boulder saw this happening for 4 years, why wait till Stan's gone to say something?
Yeah, that timing is definitely suspect. It throws his whole motive into question.
Right. Like, is this about justice for Stanlee, or is it something else? And the source material really makes you realize this documentary is just scratching the surface. There were some seriously disturbing allegations surrounding Stanlee's last years, even before this Kickstarter.
Oh, wow. So there was already a lot of controversy swirling around.
Yeah, and it gets pretty dark. Do you want to dive into those exclusive clips that were released alongside the trailer?
Absolutely. I'm curious what they reveal. What stood out to you?
Okay, so there's this one clip that just felt really wrong. You see Stanlee, and he's saying he thought he was finished with giving speeches.
So, wanting to step back from the public eye, understandable for someone his age.
Right. But then this voice, it's Boulder, they identify him by his tattoo and long hair, and he says, like, right after Stan finishes, "You're never over." It just felt so dismissive of how Stan felt.
Wow. That is not a good look, especially for someone claiming to be Stan's close friend and protector. Almost like he's pushing Stan to keep working even though he wants to stop.
And then Max Anderson, Stan's road manager, walks into the shot.
Okay, Max Anderson. I feel like that name's going to be important.
It is, because here's where things get really messed up. Max Anderson, along with 3 other people, including Stanlee's own attorney, were accused of elder abuse and financial exploitation.
Hold on. Stanlee's own attorney. You're kidding.
I wish I was. That's what makes this so unsettling. The people who were supposed to be protecting him, the source even compared it to a doctor prescribing cigarettes to someone with lung cancer.
That's a powerful image. Like a complete betrayal of trust, taking advantage of someone vulnerable.
Exactly. And those aren't even the worst accusations. This gets even more complicated. The most serious allegations are against Kia Morgan, Stan's business manager.
Kia Morgan?
Yeah.
Okay, haven't heard that name before. What kind of allegations are we talking?
I'm talking about the heavy stuff. Kia Morgan was actually arrested. He faced charges of elder abuse, forgery, fraud, the whole 9 yards.
Whoa, that escalated quickly. So it wasn't just hearsay. There were actual legal charges.
Right. Stan's own attorney even filed a restraining order against Morgan, detailing how he allegedly took advantage of Stan's failing hearing, vision, you name it.
So painting a picture of Stan as vulnerable and easily manipulated.
Exactly. And get this, the attorney's claiming Morgan forced Stan to move out of his family home and was isolating him from family and friends.
That's classic abuse tactics, isolating the victim from their support system. Did any of this go to trial?
Oh yeah. But before we get to that, there's a twist. About 5 months before he died, Stanlee sends out this tweet. In his own words, "My only partner and business manager is Kia Morgan, and not all the other people making false claims.
Wait, so Stan himself is defending Kia Morgan. That throws a wrench in things.
Right. And there's even a video attached where Stan's reading from notes, repeating that same statement.
Do you think he was pressured into making that statement? Maybe coerced somehow?
It's impossible to know for sure, but it definitely casts doubt on those earlier accusations. And Kia Morgan even replied to the tweet, thanking Stan and calling him a writing genius, loved by children.
So trying to project this image of a healthy, supportive relationship, man, this is messy.
And it gets messier. Kia Morgan was also accused of stealing money from Stan, like large withdrawals from his accounts. But, and this is important, when all of this went to court, he was found not guilty. All charges dismissed or dropped.
Wow, okay, so legally he's in the clear, but does that mean he's innocent? That's a whole different question.
Totally. And what makes this even more heartbreaking is that Stan's wife had passed away just a year before all this drama started. The source actually quotes a Guardian report that said, after her death, all these men were trying to attach themselves to Stan's businesses, trying to manage his affairs.
So he was grieving, likely vulnerable, and potentially surrounded by opportunists. Man, that's just awful.
It paints a really sad picture, doesn't it? Someone who's lost his life partner and then maybe being taken advantage of by the people around him. It's hard not to feel for the guy.
Absolutely. And it circles back to John Boulder in his documentary. He's saying he has irrefutable, undeniable video evidence of exploitation. He even says in the trailer, this isn't speculation, it's all on camera.
Right. But if he has all this concrete evidence, why not present it to the authorities back then? Why wait 6 years and then try to crowdfund a documentary?
Yeah, that doesn't add up. If he wanted to protect Stan, wouldn't he have acted sooner?
That's the feeling I'm getting. And the Kickstarter description itself is kind of over the top. They're calling this whole thing a roller coaster of drama and duplicity and comparing it to a scandal as wild as any superhero saga.
It's almost like they're trying to sell this as entertainment, capitalizing on the drama rather than genuinely seeking justice.
Exactly. And the rewards for donating are just crazy. Over 60 different levels. You could get a signed photo for $125, a tour with the director for $500, or even a shout out in the credits for $110,000.
$110,000 for a shout out. Are they serious? This feels more like a marketing scheme than a mission to expose the truth.
And that's exactly what people are saying in the Kickstarter comments. Some even donated just to leave negative feedback. They're calling him out for exploiting Stanlee's legacy, questioning why he needs so many rewards for a documentary about abuse.
Yeah, that's a valid point. If your goal is to expose wrongdoing, why make it so commercialized?
And people are asking, why not just release the footage for free on YouTube? Why the Kickstarter? There's a lot of doubt about the $300,000 budget, too. No clear breakdown of where the money's going.
Transparency is key in crowdfunding. If you're asking people for money, you need to be upfront about how you'll use it.
Absolutely. At this point, the Kickstarter's raised just under $50,000. So not exactly a runaway success.
Clearly, people are hesitant to buy what he's selling. And it's not like documentaries about sensitive topics can't be successful. Platforms like Netflix have plenty of them.
That's true. But the difference here is John Boulder's personal connection to Stan Lee. He wasn't just an observer, he was Stan's assistant, someone who claims to have witnessed this alleged abuse firsthand. And that changes everything.
Right. It's the fact that he filmed it, allegedly without intervening, and is now trying to profit off of it. That's what rubs people the wrong way.
Exactly. If this footage really is as irrefutable and undeniable as he claims, why wasn't it presented during the trial? Why wait all this time and then try to commercialize it? It just seems, off.
It's all very suspicious.
Yeah.
We need to hear John Boulder's explanation. What's his side of the story? Why did he do what he did?
We've reached out to him for comment, but haven't heard back yet. Hopefully he'll break his silence and shed some light on his motivations. But until then, we're left with a lot of questions and this nagging feeling that something's not right.
It's a real ethical dilemma. Is this about justice for Stan Lee, or is it something else entirely? It forces us to think about the responsibility we have when dealing with sensitive situations, especially when they involve vulnerable individuals.
And it makes you wonder, who has the right to tell these stories, and when does seeking justice cross the line into exploitation? It's a heavy topic, and one that we should all be thinking about, especially in today's world where information and narratives can be so easily manipulated.
Absolutely. We need to be critical consumers of information, always questioning motives and considering multiple perspectives. It's not always easy.
So, to our listeners out there, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the situation? Do you think John Boulder is genuinely trying to seek justice for Stanlee, or is this another example of exploiting his legacy for personal gain? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll continue to follow this story as it develops.
And remember, folks, this is just one perspective on a complex issue. Do your own research, consider all the angles, and come to your own conclusions. That's what makes these deep dives so fascinating, isn't it?
Exactly. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.
And keep those critical thinking caps on.